Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. Thank you for joining me again. Before we even get started, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button down below before we get into this. Based on the title, some people might not want to be, I'm probably not too interested in this, but I'm telling you, no matter who you voted for, whether you didn't vote, whatever, I guarantee you this is going to matter to you, or at least it should matter to you, specifically because you watch my channel, in the sense of we don't like when police do certain things. We don't like when police treat people differently based on how they look or anything like that. This is going to be pretty interesting to get into. So without any more delay, let's get into it, guys.
We keep having this messaging coming out of these agencies, especially during the Biden-Harris administration, that, you know, there's nothing to see here. With regards to FEMA, they are being now presented with evidence that they were treating people differently based on their partisan views. That is an incredible discovery in the United States of America. And so, of course, you're going to have an investigation. We're not going to wait.
Well, FEMA insisting that the case of an agency supervisor telling relief workers to avoid Trump campaign signs at homes during disaster response is an...
And before we go any further, I know there's a lot of people that's like, oh, look, he's watching Fox News. Oh, look, we can't trust Fox News. If you can't trust Fox News, trust the person who was actually involved in the story, okay? Keep listening.
Isolated incident. Let's bring in the FEMA official who was fired over the incident, but claims she has been made a scapegoat. Marnie Washington. Marnie, thank you so much for coming on. I want to read this because this is from the FEMA administrator, Deanne Criswell. She said this, and she's talking about you. She said, quoting here, recently, a FEMA employee departed from these values to advise her survivor assistance team to not go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Trump. This was reprehensible. I want to be...
And again, I'm not sure if you guys watch MSNBC, ABC. I watched them all. This is one of those stories where everybody downright said, no, it didn't happen. This wasn't true, especially up in North Carolina during that hurricane. My heart goes out to those people. There's no way this happened. Republicans are spinning stories. They're making things up. And then this happens. And it's as if, like, we didn't want to believe it's true. People around this country didn't want to believe it's true. But when you see something like that, it's as if, well, maybe they were right, you know?
Clear to all of my employees and the American people, this type of behavior and action will not be tolerated at FEMA. You say this is not your policy. You're not political. You don't care about the right or the left. You are simply doing your job and following your orders. So you're telling me these orders came from somebody above?
Correct. When I first reported to Florida, I was already on another team. I was there as a specialist. This was the culture. They were already avoiding these homes based on community trends from hostile political encounters. It has nothing to do with the campaign sign. It just so happened to be part of the community trend.
Now, I want you guys to really key on this. Please listen to this part. Notice what she said. It's based on the community, based on past encounters, okay? Please hold on to that thought while you're thinking about this, because this is how it impacts everyone.
When you focus in on the campaign sign, you are violating the Hatch Act. So that is something that FEMA definitely wants to stay away from, because it was created in 1939, and that was to protect citizens from being alienated based on their political stance.
So just so we're clear, you're saying that basically FEMA was doing this out of safety. They were doing that safe because they had some adversarial conflicts with some...
So again, she just stated they couldn't do it simply based off the signs, okay? What they were doing they were based on past encounters of unsafe environments based on people who had the signs. So no, they weren't discriminating based on the sign. They were saying it's about the safety, and the sign gave them a hint that it was unsafe. Wait, you'll see where it applies to us, guys.
People with Trump signs in their front yards. So they banned every Trump sign. They said, don't go to any homes with Trump signs. And if that's the case, why would they come down so hard on you? Why are you the scapegoat? Why are you the one they're saying was, quote,
crap rolls downhill
for actually putting this in place when you did not put this in place?
What's reprehensible is they're not being transparent. Why is this coming down on me? I am the person that jotted down the notes from my superiors, and my notation in Teams chat was exposed from their surge capacity team. that's exactly what happened, and it's easy to then say, well, haha, it's her name, it's her writing.
Right.
Make her accountable for it. But I'm just simply executing, again, what was coming down from my superiors.
Right. And I'm wondering, because it says
It's from her superiors. She's a supervisor, and every supervisor has a boss. And she's saying what she did and what she wrote, telling her employees to basically avoid certain homes that meet certain characteristics, that came from up above. That's not her making a rule. That's not her making executive decisions. She's only a supervisor. She doesn't make the rules, right?
things like when on this list that says avoid the Trump houses, drink water, take rest breaks. There's a list of things. You didn't come up with those either, right?
No.
So you didn't come up with any of this list. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
And I'm wondering, how do you prove that, Marnie? You're trying to save your reputation. How do you prove that this order came from above?
Well, the last time that question was posed, I verbally called on all DSA crew leads and specialists that are still active with FEMA and former to come forward and discuss our avoidance policies, our de-escalation policies. Because to be honest with you, we don't just I know the highlight here is the Trump campaign signage, but if someone is in another, like an urban community, and it's a different culture and someone feels uncomfortable.
A different culture and someone feels uncomfortable. Listen.
We can't go to that home. If you have loose dogs and someone on the team is comfortable with dogs and another person is not, we can't go to that home because of safety precautions.
So you feared the Trump houses. The people on FEMA were fearing the Trump houses like they were fearing people with vicious dogs in their backyard.
Exactly. And that's based on based on the trends. You can ask FEMA for incident reports. They have those because they ask us to report out if there's an incident at home. And unfortunately, again, the passionate supporters for Trump, some of them were a little bit violent.
But all of them were painted with the same broad brush. All of them as being, we're not going to go near these because we think they're all bad people.
No, because some were registered. Some did receive case inquiries and updates.
Yeah.
Some of them came outside and said, "Hi, I appreciate what you're doing. I would like to participate." And then some were very vocal and firm that they didn't want anything to do with FEMA, and they thought that we were crooks.
And lastly, we've got to go. We're running out of time here. Did this also happen in other places? This was Florida, but did it happen in North Carolina? Did it happen in other places?
Georgia as well. Just ask the crew leads and the specialists. They will discuss their avoidance and their de-escalation methods in the field.
Okay. And that's where I'm going to cut it right there, guys. Clip's almost done. So let's bring this all together. Based on what she's telling us, FEMA has been given directives to their supervisors for the means of safety to avoid certain communities or cultures that would make people from FEMA feel unsafe. And one of the examples she gave, and she used the word culture and communities specifically, is let's say you go to a house and have a dog in the backyard. That dog can be a safety issue, right? I agree with that. Now, here's where I'm going to say, where is that line drawn? And that's not exactly clear. Let's say you go to a community that was ravaged by a hurricane. Let's say that community also has a problem with, let's say, crime. Let's say that community has a problem with homelessness, and then a hurricane comes through. How many of these individuals from FEMA do you think would say they feel unsafe going into a place like that? How many people do you believe are probably going to feel unsafe in the hood? And how many people from the hood do you think are going to miss out on opportunities because of that? Now, she said not every case. They didn't use a blanket brush and say, okay, you know what? We're never going to go to any houses that has Trump posters on them. But the fact that this is the directives that they're giving only leaves me to worry that what happens when they go to a black neighborhood? What happens when they go to a Hispanic neighborhood? They say, they're speaking as if Trump supporters don't deserve to get anything, when a hurricane comes through, which this is a channel that we normally, cover police interactions. The police shouldn't be choosing who they serve and protect, right? They should do it lawfully, compassionately, and fairly and equally for everyone. That's just what it is. So when we have a government funded agency that's picking and choosing, and let's be honest, they're playing with words. We're not trying to get in trouble because we're not voting in the House because of the Trump sign. No, 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 no. It's because of the past dangers of houses that are Trump supporters, which may lead us to believe that house might be unsafe for us to go to. So if we use the same exact analogy rather, black communities are used to having, in some cases, violence. That's just the truth, right? Think about places like Chicago, right? What if we use that type of thinking to say, you know what, maybe we just shouldn't go into a black community? What about the Hispanic community? That kind of thinking is very dangerous. And if you guys agree with me, leave a comment below. If you guys disagree with me, leave a comment below. Either way, please, please, please hit that like and subscribe button below, guys. Thank you for joining me. Tell me what you think about this. I personally think this is disgusting, but it's one of those situations where if somebody didn't slip up, if somebody didn't say something, we would have never heard about it. And that's so true in so many things when it comes to our government. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.